Hi and welcome. My name is Sandy of Lolly and Sand, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in beautiful Ontario, Canada. For those in Canada, I hope you had a wonderful Victoria Day weekend. If you're in anywhere near the southern part of Ontario, I don't think Northern Ontario was hit, but there was a super colossal rainstorm with trees down and super high winds, and the stoplights were out. So it was, I was out with a friend and we just went straight back home once we got through all of the lights that weren't working. A little scary, but I'm so glad I'm back home again and I'm doing a video with you for you. So as you can see, I'm going to be using Nature's Prints, and I know you've seen a lot of cards using this bundle. I'm going to use not the traditional colors. You'll see a lot of cards using the blues, as in Pacific Point, Night of Navy. What else? I think those are the, maybe Starry, oh rats, I forgot the name. Starry Skies? Starry Skies, something. Good gracious, I can't remember the name. Anyway, I'm going to use a different color palette. I just thought this is such a beautiful set and it deserved some exploration, let's call it that. So I'm using quite a bit of this. I absolutely love these stamps. I know if you were watching one of my previous videos, and after you're done looking at this one, feel free to look for it. I did a masculine card using this set, which you might not expect, but it can be done. So I'm going to be using a bunch of these, and then dies, not using this one and not using this one, but using all the rest. So this is, I always say, when you can make use of, like I've used all of them, but today just not these two. When you can get use out of all of the dies, then that's something you want to consider. All the products you see tonight are available at my online store, and the links will be in the description. I forgot the name of the one set of dies we're using. It's new. Rats. It's always when it's new that you can't think of the names, and which is why I have a catalog right here. I do want to let you know what it is. Oh, stylish shapes. There they are right there. So you get rectangles, banners, and then all these circles as well. I've used these so much. Absolutely love. The other one, if you've been watching my videos, you know I love is this one. Oh, I hope that's in frame. I hope that last one was in frame. Dots and Spots. I'm just going to use it a little bit differently than before. I've been using it as a background, like the full-size background. Try something a little different tonight. Alrighty, our color palette for tonight is Soft Seafoam, Gray Granite, and Flirty Flamingo. Aren't they pretty? Just really, really pretty, and you can get lots of different shades out of it. We're going to be using the blending brushes. What else? Well, of course, Wink Stella. You have to do that. And I say we get started. So let's start with the Soft Seafoam. This is just, it's not a card front. Just a half of the paper that I'm not using. Oh, how about I show you the card we're making? Keep you going. Here we go. This is the card. It's going to turn out a little bit different because what I did is I went ahead and, well, you'll see. I'll show you that part, but it depends on the intensity of these parts here that are done using the blending brushes. There's a lot of Wink Stella. A lot of it is centered over here, and of course lots of little embellishments and ribbon. I absolutely love this card. I had no inspiration today, and a piece fell out. I had no inspiration today, and all of a sudden I just went, hey, this is coming together. This is where I use that other, well, I'll show you the die with the holes, the dots and spots, and the DSP as well. So we'll get to all of that. First thing is Soft Seafoam, and it's this one here. When you're planning on die cutting, try to make the most of your paper. Get as many pieces out of the section that you can. So I'm using this full strength, just pressing down. And there we go. I'm going to close this, but I'm going to use it again. I just like to keep them closed just in case somebody's arm goes in it, because that could happen at any time. This is Flirty Flamingo. You notice this is the older style stamp pad. There's nothing wrong with it. It's absolutely fine. This is a big stamp, and normally with a big stamp I do this, so we'll do it this way. It's just easier to get it covered all the way. And let's stamp it. Now we're die cutting, so all I have to do is leave enough space between them. And I tend to die cut one thing at a time. I'm just giving it pressure just to make sure the ink soaks into the paper. Not too much that you gush it. Look at let me show that a little bit closer. Do you see the detail and see how dark it is? And then it goes into the lighter little ends. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I have one more. This is the little flower. And I think, yep, I do believe I can fit that right here. That gives me lots of room on the page to play. Oh, let's do the sentiment too. So close that one and let's get the sentiment done. Now I am using, let me grab that die. This die here. So when I know I'm going to be die cutting and not fussy cutting, I like to just make sure, like I don't want to put the sentiment like way up here where I can't cut it. So I would probably aim for about there. So we'll be using best wishes. It would be best if best wishes and happy thoughts. That's what it says. I was going to say, I can't read it like that. Okay. So right about there. Again, die cutting. I don't want it over to the edge too much. I need to make space. So right about there should work. Oops. Oh, what do I always say? Don't rock and roll. And I just rocked it. But I did not get a halo, so all is good. I love this font. I think that is just so pretty. And the way they put the and happy thoughts. Let's get rid of that so we don't get anything in smaller print. So it all fits. And check this out. Again, it all fits. The way I lined this up, I've already die cut this. The way I lined this up, and just so you know, is it's really hard to line up when you have words that are in that kind of font script. So what I did is I used thoughts, so that word right there, and instead of going like that and saying, well, that's not even, I just made my line with my eye along here. And if I needed to push it down just a little bit, that'd be fine. So I'm not worried if I stamped it on the page a little bit crooked. That part does not matter any way at all. We'll put that back. Now the fun part. Not that that wasn't fun, but the fun part. So blending brush and Flirty Flamingo. And this really big old piece of paper here. Oh, it's not paper. It's a backing for some paper. Some DSP. So I'm going to go down a fair bit further. Now, I have a lot of ink in this already. How much Flirty Flamingo I use is all dependent on what I get here. And I'm not looking for this to be even. I don't want it to be a solid color. And I'm going to bring it in. But I'm going to do this and get rid of some of it, because you never want to just make a big blob on it. I want it to be uneven, because you're not going to see a plant that is totally green, let's say, the whole way. It actually are subtle color changes in it, right? Variations. A little bit more. So I am pressing fairly hard, but you'll notice when I do that, I'm also holding this. I want to make sure, I don't want to put a bunch of stress on this. I haven't heard of any of them ever breaking, but I don't want to be that person that breaks it. So now that I've taken this off over here, I can pretty well just circle around a bunch. So it's dark, dark, a little bit lighter, way lighter. I'm happy with that. There, I just wanted to bring the dies back so you could see what I was going to die cut. So when I die cut, I'd probably go like that. Put one up at the top, one at the bottom of it, So I've got the dark at the top and the lighter at the bottom, dark at the bottom, so they're not identical. I could even float just a little bit up here into the really, well, no color at all. And then I liked these little guys too. And I've inked myself already. And, well, I would have to use more, but right about like that. So I would be die cutting like that. When I do the green, I'm doing the exact same thing. When I say green, I mean soft seafoam. So I'm going to close that and move that one aside. And so again, die cutting will be exactly the same. I wasn't sure what exactly I was making. I just thought I'm just gonna go for it and see what happens. So that's why I had so many pieces, and I'm gonna have leftover pieces, and that's perfectly fine. So with this one, same with the others, I've not washed these. Like, this is my dedicated greens, and that was my dedicated reds and pinks and Flirty Flamingo. Before using this one though, I did take a scrap piece of not this, but like copy paper, and I tried to get the darkest cherry cobbler and real red out of there. I almost went into the red. Okay, this has got a little bit of evening evergreen in it, and that's perfectly fine. Let's go like this. So I'm not mushing it in. I don't want a ton of color. If I did, I would massage pretty well all over the page already. So just go like so, and a bunch more. This is kind of the part I like, where you don't know how it's going to turn out, and you just keep doing your thing. And again, I'm pushing pretty hard. And I'm okay with different shades on it. Like so. So I have saved a wee bit of time for you by die cutting already. You can see the difference in color. I would probably go a little darker here and here, but in interest of time, I am going to bring in the pieces. So let's move the dies and the stamps. They're off to the side. I just want to make sure, check my hands one more time. Make sure they're pretty clean. Alrighty. This is a one layer card basically. As in, I'm not putting a full panel on the front. So this is basic white. It's just it's the light. You can use the heavy, or not light, the regular. You can use heavy if you wish. I find myself, I really like this, and I have a lot of this, the lighter. I don't use the heavier white quite as much as probably I should. Now this is, there's the blues I was talking about. So this is from the Sun Prince DSP. This is all in the new catalog, by the way. And if you're wondering how I cut this, I went to one edge of the paper and I cut 3 inches. So when I cut this piece, this is pretty well like the other part of it. Just took out the pieces I didn't want. So I have a little triangle left over here and a little triangle, go like that, left over here, which I might use for another card. So for this, before I could do anything else, I needed to decide what to do with this. Because so often you see cards, and including mine, where the whole front is covered, I thought I just want a little something. I tried it plain white and didn't really care for it. It was, I thought, you need to infuse a little bit of color there, Sandy, so I did. And I chose this because of the gray granite and wanting to keep the tones reasonably muted. So I forget if I said the measurements of the card base. It is 4.5 by 11, scored at 4.25 by 11, 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5. I'm pretty sure I don't remember saying that, so there we go. And I'd already cut this. It came out to a point, and I simply just cut it. You can use your, of course, you can use your trimmer as well. So here's the piece I was talking about. So I'm not covering the whole front. It is Flirty Flamingo, and I've used that Spots and Dots die. And that was pretty much just going to go right roughly about there. So it's just off center a little bit. So I can actually glue that down. Now, of course, you want to avoid all the holes. That is not a surprise, so just stay away from them. And just glue however you want. I must have been bored earlier because I was making little circles going all the way around them, and I thought you probably don't need to see that. When you have ideas and they're, you know, it looked just, I don't know, it just seemed humorous to me. Now, when I did the first card, the sample card I showed you, one of the circles was right at the edge, so it cut out a little piece, and all I did was I took it and I turned it to where this flower was going to cover it. I noticed this is quite a bit darker than my original, and I think my original was stamped off, so this is going to be a different look, and I really like that. Not everything has to look exactly the same. Now, I am not gluing this yet. Not yet. Here's my sentiment all cut out, and not only did it die cut it, but it made this really cool, I hope you can see the detail on that, little edging on it, which just gives it an elegance, and I really like that. So I'm going to pop it up on dimensionals, but not yet because I'm putting ribbon behind it. Here are all the pieces I cut. Wait, there's more. Oh yes. Now I'll show you what I did. Because when I did it the same way I did before on that piece of paper I showed you, this one here, you don't always get right to the ends. So what I did, I simply, let's say I want to make this one a little bit darker, and I do actually. So I'm going to bring in this, just hang on to the end, check the color, and I can just press down and make it ever so a little bit darker. So here's what it looked like, and here's what it looks like now. So you can see it's just ever so slightly different. I like that in my cards, that they're not, like every piece doesn't look identical. Like nature, basically. You can do the same also with the Flirty Flamingo. So that was the Seafoam, soft Seafoam, and this is the Flirty Flamingo. And I could. So I'm kind of using the edge, because you notice when you're using the brush, you're pretty well using this. There's more color up here. This might be a little bit dark, but we'll find out. Right? It's a little piece of paper, and I can always die cut it again. So that is beautiful. Just a little bit darker. Here's one that was closer to the top, so it's got a little bit more white in it. Now, I'm just going to move these off. So that's how I did that and made different tones in them. Checking my fingers again. I messed up a white card so bad. So there's our soft Seafoam. And it's hard to believe that this is also soft Seafoam, but this is soft Seafoam with a brush that had Evening Evergreen in it. Thus, some of these are darker. I think that's pretty. Now, here's a hint. When I was first making this, I was like, I had this over here and this over here, and I had all these pieces in the center, and it didn't go. It didn't work. Bring them closer together. As soon as I realized that, it was like the lights went off, on. My lights go off, yours go on. The lights came on, and it was like, I get it. Now I can do this. It's going to turn out the way I would like to see it. So what we have, this being, we'll see. I've got a lighter one. Let's try the lighter one. Okay. So I want to use one of these, probably one of these. Oh, turn that one over. Let's see all of them. I have two of these because, you know, you can never just stamp one, you know. This is just to add a little bit of the Flirty Flamingo on this side. So when I'm making a card, it's more about just stamping. It's bringing it all together. Now, one thing I also do while I'm putting things together is I'll keep the sentiment handy, because I don't want to put something down so far that you're not going to be able to see anything. So something like that. And you know me, if you've been watching my videos, you know me. You know I don't like things centered. It's just like, no. But it is time to commit. So here we go. I'm just going to put, you can use the adhesive of your choice. I'm using Tombow. Which is also called multi-purpose liquid glue. We all seem to call it, it does say Tombow on there too. I didn't pop any of these up. I left the sentiment to do the popping. Okay, so I want this fairly straight, and that's probably a little higher than I want it. I could bring it down. I'm just checking to see if I did not put glue on this top one, so I can actually push it down a fair bit further. And we'll just hold that and make sure it stays put. Good. Okay, the next piece will be this one to go on. And again, you don't need a ton of glue. Do not think you need a ton of glue. Now, in case this goes over the edge, I'm just going to grab my scissors. These are the paper snips from Stampin' Up. And not only do I use them for card making, I also use them for my paper quilling, where you need really good sharp scissors. Let's see, this one can go here. And you know that I don't want everything at the same height. You know me. I'm going to cut this bottom part of this one off too, just in case. So, no measurements, just cutting it off a bit and keeping this handy. This is going to go on top of here a fair bit. Alrighty, and then we just get these guys. For these, you could glue them, but they're so tiny. I decided to use glue dots. And you're like, those are large, and that's okay, because the glue dots, I don't have to add that on yet. The glue dots are actually going at the very bottom. I do believe I chopped off one of these. The other thing you have to watch is you can see that glue dot right there. With my, I'll tell you, I made a mistake on the first one. And after I put it all together, I'm like, I can see a glue dot. So I used my take your pick tool and maneuvered it, put it all underneath so you can see it. There are ways. Don't pull your card apart. There are ways. Okay, so am I using this one or this one or that one? I'll use this one. This one I'm going to chop off because this is going to be a fair bit lower. Although, maybe nope, I want two of these guys together. Okay, so I'm going to chop this. And when I say chop, I'm just ripping it. And another glue dot. I am not without my glue dots. Never, ever, ever. I use them for so many things. Oh, I was going to say, I think I lost it, but I did not. All right. They're very sticky, just so you know. All right, and I can go like that. If I find, let's pretend now. If I find that this is too low and it's sticking out of the bottom, I can simply come in, lift, and cut. So that's another reason not to completely glue things. Glue the center part. You can always play with the other ends. More tips. I'm just so full of tips. Seriously. Okay, I'm also going to give this one a little chop. And a glue dot. Making good use of glue dots on this card. I suppose you could just use your Tombow down here, but the glue dots, they stick. I can maneuver them, not at the same height. So the three of these will not be at the same height. Or the same angle for that matter. There we go. Glue this one down. Well, I'll put the glue on and then let's take a look. Yeah, right about there. So just putting glue in the center here of the flower and then tipping it off to the side a bit. I keep hitting my light. I'm hoping I'm not bouncing the light on you because my head's not that big, I swear. Okay, I'm going to move that up a bit to there. If you wanted to, because you're not seeing any of this, you could cut this off and reduce some of the bulk, but it's really not that thick. So I know this is going to go about here, and I also know that I'm going to put some greenery in. I have these just in case, but I'm probably going to make, well, I don't know yet actually. Let's see. So I would like one out here. So again, glue dot. I like to rip the end of my like the tail part off. So it just bugs me when it's in my way. Okay, so this time I'm going to go like so. Place it. Place it. I noticed that I thought that was going to happen. That didn't decide that is sticking to it. So we're okay. I may have to move it over a bit. When I was making the original, what I did is I had this on, the ribbon, the whole 9 yards, and they went, oh, I want greenery there. So glue dot under it, you can do it, and then just get your piece underneath, and it can be done. I'm telling you, there's ways around all of this to make it work. Darker. Again, notice how they're not the same. These two are reasonably close, but they're really not the same intensity. Now at this point, when I was making the card, I'm like, I don't have any embossing folder use on this card, and that is not like me. I love embossing folders. Love, 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 love. Just comparing the colors. I think I'll use the light one. So I'm going to have another one. No, you know what? Like the original, I'm going to pick one of these. I like this intense one. This is the one, the piece that we added a little more color. So I'm going to add that last. All right, let's get to, I don't think I need my glue anymore, so I'm going to put the lid on. We're going to get to the ribbon portion, because that will help decide these last pieces. So everybody, move, move. Anything I don't need can go. Don't need any more green. Keep those. All right. So I decided, I haven't replaced my snail yet. Remember, I think it was last week when my snail ran, or the week before my snail ran out, and I was like, I didn't replace the cartridge yet. So this is what is this called? Stampin' Seal, tear and tape. Got it. I saw the packaging. I'd like to pretend I remembered, but I didn't. Tear and tape. So you just, you can use your fingernail or your whatever's handy, and then I use the take your pick tool just to bring it up. And we are going to use this ribbon. So this is the glittered Organdy ribbon. It's got beautiful little bit of sparkle. Oh, hey, there's where it was attached. So I'm gonna cut that. I don't want that on the card. I can still use this piece, and I will, because we'll do that last. So what I'm gonna do is go, see if I have that. Nope, this way. So I should show you what I'm doing. I attached a little piece right there, and I'm not measuring, okay? So I cannot give you the measurements. Just a little bit up there, and then just a little bit down here. So I'm just making little loops, and I have my tear and tape going the wrong direction, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. Let's cut that. Alrighty. Lots of little sparkles. You will get sparkles from this on your desk. No big deal. Alrighty. So again, I had actually finished the card when I went, oh no, I wanted more. I'm making this loop a little bit smaller. It was a little bigger than I wanted. So now I know what happened to last week's card. I don't know if you remember, look at last week's card and the video. And when I showed you the card at the end, the original, it had this pink blotch on it. And you know what it is? Is this. I got the ribbon wet. Try not to get the ribbon wet. Okay? I'm not happy the way I lifted it, and I'm not happy the way it's staying down. So, glue dot to the rescue. And there we go. So, it stuck to this, but it wasn't stuck to the sentiment, but it wasn't sticking the way I liked there. So again, I finished the card and then went, no, I want tails. So I actually did. I did do it. Glue dot, stuck it under. I did. And I might end up doing it that way again. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It all depends on how it all works. So we'll do it. Well, no, I put the glue dot on the wrong side. But this is two-sided ribbon, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to put a little tail there. And then there's that piece we didn't want, so we're working around it. Might as well make the tail end now. Oops. I got the wrong, you know, you have to, these I've used on the wrong things. Keep your scissors really, really clean and they'll cut very nicely. Mine is in definite need. Okay, so right there. Definite need of some cleaning. But they're not the same ones. I still use the same scissors, but a different pair for my paper quilling. There we go. I'm loving it. Okay, now I'm going to put the dimensionals on. And then we're still not done, because I have a couple more pieces to add. I decided on big dimensionals, even though I have so many already of the small packages opened. There. Still avoiding the ribbon. Got one extra, don't need it. You want to make sure if you're putting your... This one's pretty close to not... Yeah, that one doesn't touch. I try to make sure if I do go on the ribbon that I'm also on the paper as well. So let's just put that on. And I'm going to go... I can still see this. And I'm going to go up a little bit higher, right about there. So we're double checking. I have to get right over it. Now, there was one more piece I wanted to add over here, which was going to be one of these. And I think I chose the darker, just to add one more little bit of interest right there. I am going to do that little snippy thing, so I want it shorter. Yep, perfect. And glue dot. Aren't you glad there's so many glue dots in a roll? I think I've used more than I have in a while. Very sticky, stuck to my finger. Of course, there we go. There we go. Wait. There we go. Alrighty, so I can lift that up. Get that right in there. Get in further, a little further, and push. We're almost done. We haven't added any of the gems, but I have to bring in that big old piece of paper again. Card backing, whatever it's called. Wink of Stella. My original plan was just to make little dots. Yeah, no. Now, excuse me. I just burped. Sorry. I hope you didn't hear that. Oh my gosh. This is new, and I know this is my new one because the lids are now clear. So what I don't want to do is gush this. You will get very large blobs when you do that. So don't push the ballast. It says push here. Don't. Not for this. I'm going to keep at it. Let me just take a peek. There's a bunch on there. I just know that it's not going to be visible to you. So when I do this, like I will go for many minutes, but because you're watching my video, and thank you so much, by the way, I'm not. Ooh, I got quite a bit. Awesome. Oh yeah. It's got this beautiful sparkle that doesn't show up on camera, unfortunately. Does not, but we're not done. We're so close. We are so close. I wanted to bring in these guys. They're new. 2021. Oh, my finger's sparkly. 1 second. I got a fair bit of Wink of Stella on my finger by doing that. Oh, by doing that. But that's okay. Oh, hang on. I got more. It's okay to have little bits, you just don't want blobs. Okay, so these are the, back to it, the 2021 to 2023 in color opal rounds. So these are the colors that went, like these are the soft succulent, evening evergreen, polished pink. What was the other one? Fresh freesia and, oh man, I can't remember the name. 1 sec. Oh, bring it. Pale papaya. Good Lord. Okay. Brand new package. My first package is almost done, and I needed this color. So, you might be thinking I would be using the pink, but I'm actually using these. You might think I'm using the green, but no. I'm going to use the little pale... what was that one? Fresh freesia. Did I just drop it? I did not. Because they look really perfect on the card. It's like, seriously. So I'm just going to add a bunch. And I mean, like, I'm adding a lot more than I would normally. But I thought it's not really plain. Like, this card has a good balance of the white area and then some DSP and then the actual centerpiece, let's call it. I'm going to go this way with these two so they're not the same direction. I am going to try and use an odd number. I know I always say, you know, the rule of 3, break the rules. Please break the rules. Whenever you want to break the rules, just break them. It is perfectly okay. If you want to put on 6, put on 6. If you want to put on 3, put on 4. 3 is 3. Where else? Here. So where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to keep going because I am not quite done yet. I feel like, where would I like another one? Would I want it here? No, because that's like 2, 2, and 2. Oh, no, I don't want that. Here, nope. Here, nope. Here, 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 here. That's just kind of like the original. All right, so let's put some of these away. You can tell I love my tools. Take your pick. Love it. There we are. So they're not identical. That's so much darker. I might have done that one actually in Tuxedo, Memento Black. You see with this one, I got some pretty large blobs and I got it right on the greenery, which looks really cool. So I will probably continue and put more on this, but then again, less is more. And these are, the Winkostella here is definitely more subtle. I may adjust those guys just a little bit. I'm not sure yet. And you can also turn them up a bit. And you can use your finger, you can use your bone folder, but very gently because as you can see here, that's fairly thin. But you can do that and just give them a little bit more depth. That's why I don't attach everything. I want some form of movement on my card. Anyway, my friends, there we go. There we go. I just wanted to say that I do appreciate your comments. I read them all and I do reply to them. If you can share my video, YouTube loves all this. Comments, shares, thumbs up definitely, and subscribe because I have got more goodies coming to you in the next few weeks. I will see you again next Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a wonderful week. Bye-bye.